Shoots and Scores Hockey Talk, where we talk everything hockey. I am John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
All right, guys, let's go. Now, the first topic up for discussion today is something that really annoyed the hell out of me a few nights ago, and that is lazy defensemen. Now, I don't know if this is just some weird thing that's been going on or I just happened to be watching at the wrong time, but it seemed to pop up multiple times on Tuesday night. There's Noah Dobson, a Canadian defenseman. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Didn't look like he was even trying. Slacking to get to the puck. I believe they were on the power play, and he just, I don't know, missed the puck or didn't seem to go for it. Went by him, of course, coughs it up, score the other end. Then there was Bouchard. He's behind the net. I don't know what he was doing. Got a little distracted. They picked the puck off his stick, scored. I knew there was another one, and I couldn't remember what it was, but then I found it here later on. It was Ottawa defenseman Jordan Spence. He gave it away. I don't know what he was thinking. Trying to do something weird anyway. They scored on him too. So, guys, is this happening all over the league? Did I just happen to be watching at the wrong time? Or defensemen being stupid and lazy and giving the puck up and just scoring crazy points all of a sudden? What's going on here, Mike?
I don't know if it's happening more than before. Maybe it just kind of stood out because a bunch of them happened at once. But
all on the same night.
Yeah, I mean, they happen, and they happen every game pretty much. That there's some bad turnovers, but sometimes it's the goalies doing it too. So, but I don't really think it's anything more than normal, to be honest with you. And with Bouchard giving it up, he's known for that. So he's always looking to make.
But what was he looking at? He was standing behind the net. He had a player slid by him, and it looks like he's looking at him, and then the other guy just comes and takes it off his stick and scores.
Yeah, well, he's known for giveaways, so. But I don't really see it any more than normal. And I mean, I didn't see the games that you were watching, so I can't really comment on those. But for the games that I do watch, I mean, sometimes it's they pick it up off the boards and it bounces wrong and whatnot, and it's bad turnover. But I don't really notice it happening more than normal. So,
okay, Chris, is Mike right, or is this thing just happening more and more often for some reason?
It's probably the media just focusing on it more, especially with Bouchard, right? He's been the lightning rod for all the criticism. So he can go 5-6 games and do nothing wrong. As soon as he does, boom, it's going to be on the highlight reel, right? And yes, I saw that play on highlights, and yeah,
what was he looking at?
His control stick just disconnected for a second, right? And he just stopped playing.
Oh, what? Let's watch this guy sliding by me. Oh, whoops! I gave the puck away. I'll score. Damn, we lost.
It could always be worse, right? Steve Smith, Noah Dobson. I don't watch Montreal Canadiens hockey. I don't know what he did.
Only when they're playing Carolina, right? Only when they're playing Carolina.
Yeah, when they get, I'll be forced to watch all their superstars and how they're going to win the cup players. But no, I didn't see the Dobson play. But no, I think it's just a trend right now. I think for the stations to pick out these plays when defensemen.
And the goalies never bail out the defenseman on those players either.
No.
That's from experience from, I think, all three of us playing defense. You turn the ball over when we were playing ball hockey, and they score. It's like, oh, come on, man. Just bail us out once.
Yeah, and Jordan Spence, he was just trying to do some exchange with one of the Ottawa players. I forget now who it was, in his own zone, and he just left it for the other team. They took it and scored. I mean, of course the goalie wouldn't bail him, But anyway, it was quite a night in the NHL. We'll go on to our second topic. I was trying to create a little bit of controversy there with you guys, and you didn't bite. So you're not making my job easy. But we'll go on to our second topic, and that is Canadian teams. I know you guys love to talk about Canadian teams. Now, last I looked, which was the other night, the only Canadian team in the playoffs as of this minute was the Edmonton Oilers, who were barely holding on to the 8th spot now. Ottawa, they have looked bad lately. And I mean, I was talking about them good like 2 episodes ago. They're 4-6 in their last 10. That's just not going to cut it in these tight divisions. And that's with Tkachuk in the lineup. Now, Winnipeg has fallen like a stone. 3-7-1 without Hellebuyck, and not a whole lot better with them. Hard to believe that Winnipeg had the most points in the league last year. It's crazy. Guys, is it game over for all these Canadian teams? What's going on, Mike? Is this game over? Should these
Well, I
guys just
mean,
pack it in and give up?
well, obviously they're not going to pack it in and give up, but
Yeah, but should they?
well, I don't. I don't. I mean, for Calgary and Vancouver, yes. As far as the other teams go, I mean, I still think they have a glimmer of hope of making the playoffs. I mean, anything can happen with the standings as close as they are. But when we're talking about the teams like Winnipeg, I mean, Hellebuck's been practicing again, so I think they're probably looking at him coming back at the earlier side of his what they were expecting him to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So
Right. Yeah, he was on the ice 3 days in a row, and I know
yeah,
he was
I,
out for
I
the full
think they're
practice
hoping
yesterday.
that he'll play at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, or they should be hoping that he does because what they're currently doing isn't working. But the other thing too with Winnipeg is secondary scoring is non-existent. When you're looking at their scoring, it's Shifley, Connor, Morrissey, Velarde. That's it. They're not getting anything from anybody else. I mean, Perfetti's chipped in a little bit, but no secondary scoring. They're not going to win many games with or without Hellebuck. So the Oilers, I think they've played a lot more games than everybody else. So too, I think the teams behind them are right at their right around them have games in hand on them. So the Oilers are in a bit of a precarious spot there too. So, but they're missing Roslovic, who was playing really well with them up until he got hurt. Um, First line still doing the majority of the work on that team, though. So that's the thing with some of these teams. I mean, the team that has the most balance as far as scoring between the top two lines is probably Ottawa. And I don't know, Brady Tkachuk coming back, it
Yeah,
kind of got worse for some reason, but I'm sure he's not to blame. But
Chris would say so.
well,
Chris did say so a few weeks
hopefully.
ago.
And Montreal, they're scoring as well. They're top line heavy. They don't get a lot out of the other lines either. So, and this is the thing with a lot of these. I don't want to say it's just Canadian teams because it's not, but these teams that are pretty much top line heavy, they're uh, they're going to be the teams that are not near the top of the standings. You look at the teams that are at the top of the standings, you got like Dallas and Vegas and Tampa. They've got multiple scoring lines. I'm just using those three as an example, but Carolina, Washington.
Washington doesn't have multiple scoring lines. They got defensemen who
Oh,
score. They got
well,
defensemen who's overproducing.
they don't need multiple scoring lines when they got Thompson in net.
No,
They
no,
just
they got Chikrin.
That's true.
Nope,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Chikrin, he
right.
scores every game.
every game.
So and that's the thing with and I mean Florida's starting to play better too now. So and once they get to Chuck back, probably in a couple weeks, 2 3 weeks, they should be even better. So yeah, so it's not looks like doom and gloom there for the Canadian teams. Even Toronto moved Nylander down to the third line. So I don't know.
That's a one game thing.
I don't know what they're you know. I don't think that's going to motivate him. But
He didn't
anyway,
seem to mind when he was talking about it on his interview there.
well, yeah, but I mean, when you're taking who's playing with Matthews now? Like, I mean, Matthews and Nylander, there are only two guys that they can rely on really offensively to be somewhat consistent. So I don't know. It's tough sledding there for the Canadian teams right now. We should see within a month's time where things are going to shake down for a lot of them.
Chris, what do you think? Is Mike right? Is he wrong?
Well, let's first talk about what I said a couple of weeks ago, right? To Chuck's return, I said it's going to be status quo, right? They are who they are, and
I knew
Chuck
you were going to
brings
go
good
there.
things, brings bad things. So pat on the back, saying that nothing would change with them. They'll just continue to do what they do. And we both agreed that Hellebuck, Winnipeg was toast, and the results speak for themselves, right? They're not a good team. Hellebuck really, really carries them. And yeah, they're struggling. Jonathan Taves, I think he's in the fourth line now. His analytics stats look horrendous. He can win a faceoff for you. That's about it.
Yeah,
And
he was out there for the power play for the faceoff. I saw that.
the faceoff, yeah. And I think where we get when we get to 60 games, they're going to pay him 5.5 million and keep on adding and adding the more games he plays. not good there for them. And I think, and last week there were some people talking about the Jets, and they're the oldest team or the second oldest team in the league.
Oh, you know what? I
And
didn't know that.
yeah, and the losing their boy, well, my boy Ellers really hurt their team speed.
Yep, that's true.
And I think that's where they're starting to pay the price. Let's see, Calgary, Vancouver. Yeah, they should be. The race for McKenna. That's those two teams should be looking at. But Vancouver is a team where they really needed the goalie Demko. Right, he had to be healthy for them to have a chance, and him not be able to stay healthy, that's killing them. Montreal's got a lot of injuries. A couple of good talented players. They can score some goals, but their goaltending's bad. Um, Toronto looked pretty good against Toronto last week. They have their moments, but then Joseph Wall got hurt, and now they're in trouble, right? So goaltending really, a lot of teams are built on their goaltending, keeping them into it, right? There's only a few teams that can play with average or below average goaltending, and but most teams can't do that, right? You need to have goaltending to help you.
Yes, and I see that Montreal went and called up their greatest goaltending asset. I forget his name off the top of my head, but
Fowler, they called him up.
Yeah, Fowler. Yeah, they called him up.
He's starting tonight against Pittsburgh.
Oh, is he?
And one of the
I'm sure he's Carey Price like. I'm sure he's like
one of the questions that the coach that St. Louis was asked was, doesn't this look like a bit of a desperate move? And he's like, well, no. And I'm like thinking to myself, yeah. Yeah, it does look like a desperate move. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit there and go, no, all you want. It looks pretty desperate to me.
I think Montembeault is sick or hurt, is he not?
I think they're going to say that he's sick, whether he is or not.
So
probably hurt feelings. Most likely.
Because they did play Dobish for back-to-back starts there on the weekend, I think. So, which isn't normal that teams do that anymore. So, and apparently Montembeault was not feeling well. I don't know if it was the flu or whatever it is, but he didn't play.
Before I go on to my third question, I want to get back to something that you mentioned 3 weeks ago, Chris. And I just want you to tell the audience what you had said about, what was it, 85% of the teams that are in a playoff spot, or was it by Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Stay there. What was it? Was it 85%?
It's something like 85% of the teams in a playoff spot
it was 80%
weekend will hold on to it. So that means 2 to 4 positions are still up for grabs.
Right.
But I know this year, a lot of teams are all within, 3 wins of passing 4 or 5 teams. So we'll see how much that holds up. This might be one of those outliers where it's like 70%, just because there's so many teams bunched up. In previous years, sometimes you have that gap, but the 3-point system, which we've talked about in the past, is really rearing its ugly head because there's so many more games that are going into overtime. There's a lot more loser points getting accumulated, and it's creating this glut of teams all together.
That's right. I was looking at some of those numbers, and I believe it was Edmonton had 6 overtime losses. There was another team that had 7. I forget now who it was. I was like, man. Oh, it was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had 7 overtime losses.
Well, somebody shared the league for the last 8 years, and this year's ridiculous, the number of games going into overtime. So there's a lot more extra loser points out there, right? And that's what's keeping everything close. But this year seems to be an anomaly. And then, of course, people are upset because in OT now, 3-on-3, you can tell every team is doing the old keep away, right? And they're you can spend 2-3 minutes skating around the neutral zone and nobody's shooting the puck. No one wants to lose the puck. And, the NHL is having, teams are concerned about that, right? It doesn't look
I think they should go to 4-on-4. I really do. I think it would make a difference. Put the extra body and can't skate around.
Will make it harder to score. So I think that's why.
But I think teams would try harder to score. But anyway,
maybe you don't get a point if you lose in the 3-on-3. Maybe there is no losing point. I wish something's got to motivate them to try to win more. Yeah, there's no doubt. We need more motivation there.
All right, well, let's go on to our third topic now. Unfortunately, you guys both sort of touched on it, but I'm going to spew this out anyway, and that's the Vancouver Canucks. Now, my goodness, with 25 points total and 11-16-3 record, which is just horrendous. The Canucks have the worst record in the league, 1 point behind Nashville of all teams. Mike, is the Canucks going to finish dead last in the league?
Well, the teams that we thought would finish dead last was San Jose and Chicago. Do not look like they're going to finish down there this year the way they're
Nope.
playing. So it's definitely at this point, I think Vancouver, Calgary, and Nashville that are going to be the contenders, I guess. Maybe Columbus falls back a little bit too, because I mean they're at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, I
Yeah,
believe.
they don't look as good this year as they did last year.
Yeah. So, yeah, Vancouver's definitely, and apparently they're looking to move their guys already, but I guess the asking price is a little high on some. They're trying to get a first round pick for Kiefer Sherwood, who, you know, he's never been a scorer in the league. I mean, he's a big hitter, but first round pick for him, I think, is probably a little bit of a stretch. So, um, anybody that's on an expiring contract there is, pretty much should be on their way out the door there, um, whether sooner or later. But yeah, and like Chris said, without Demko being healthy, that's kind of really put a dent in what their thoughts of maybe having a rebound season would be. Brock Besser has been non-existent for the most part this year, so he got his money. Now, it's no production. Pedersen also has not stepped up. Maybe they need JT Miller back.
Maybe. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, they're in trouble. And after Demko, I think Rutherford and his puppet GM really needs to
Go
take
bye bye.
some of the blame on this, right?
Yeah.
I remember last year it was the Kevin Lackinen deal that they gave him. I believe it was 5 years at $4 million a year,
Yeah, it was.
based on 10 or 12 games. He's a backup, below average goalie, and they gave him 5 years at $4 million. And I know when that came out, I was on Twitter and I was like, "What is going on?" Like,
Right.
you
And you
can
should
find a
follow
backup
Chris.
goalie for $1 million, $1.5 million.
You should
You-
follow Chris on Twitter, which we'll put in the notes
yeah,
there.
it was ridiculous, and this year he's struggling. Wow, shock! Everyone's shocked, right? Brock Besser, like I said, they paid him the money to come back, but maybe Rutherford should have realized this team is not a playoff team or going to take that step, right? But yeah, Vancouver. Obviously, I think they got the memo there a couple weeks ago when Rutherford sent an email to everybody saying we're shopping, um, but getting rid of all their free agent guys or going to be free agent guys that's not going to fix them for future years, right? I don't know. It almost feels like they should tear it all down. But I don't. Rutherford, I don't think, at his age he's not there for a tear down. So we'll have to see what happens. But I won't be surprised that he's gone
The
by the
thing
end of
too
the
with
year.
Vancouver is they most of their guys, I think, right now are either in their prime or past their prime. I don't see too many guys on that team that are still got some great years left in them, other than Quinn Hughes. Lettermacky is one of their top prospects, so he'll probably be a good one. But Quinn Hughes is going to be the big fish if they decide to trade him, because he'll be the one that they're going to get the most return for. Um,
If they move him, they should move Pedersen too. Go right to the ground, right? Start from scratch with all the prospects and picks they can get.
Well, I'm sure they will. Well, they'll
the,
try.
the issue with
Well, if they
moving
don't ask too much.
the issue with moving Pedersen is the contract is it's an albatross for
Oh no,
production.
Carolina, yum 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 yum. They'll eat
Well,
they'll eat that up.
well,
They'll
that's
eat
true.
that
Everybody's a
up.
fit in Carolina, so
He is definitely a fit in Carolina.
Chris, did you see this coming that the Canucks had a shot at finishing last in the league?
No, because I thought Demko. Well, it all hinged on Demko, right? If he was healthy, they would not be down in the spot. I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but they would have been fighting for it with a healthy Demko and Nets.
Mike?
yeah, same thing. I mean, without Demko being healthy, it really puts the hurt on them. as Chris said, did not think they were a playoff team whatsoever. If they were going to contend for a playoff spot, at best it would have been a wild card spot. But there's too many now. There's too many teams that have taken the next step. Like I said, and two of the prime examples are San Jose and Chicago. Uh, I still don't know how they're keeping up what they're doing, but and Minnesota's taken a step forward as well. So the other teams near the top are as expected. Your Dallas, your Vegas, uh, you know, Colorado. Those teams we fully expected to be where they are. So, but yeah, Vancouver they had a long way to go going into this season to be challenging for a playoff spot. I was surprised they gave Besser the money. To be honest, I thought they would just cut ties with him and let him go where he wanted to. So, but they kept him. Traded out JT Miller last year. Uh, Quinn Hughes. They lose Quinn Hughes. They're definitely going to be last because they're looking probably at first round picks, prospects, or some younger guys, but in return for him, but they're not going to get anything close to the caliber of play that he provides.
All right. Well, so much for the Canucks. Huh? I'm a little shocked that they're in last place overall right now. I know it's only by 1 point, but I'm sure they would love to have first pick in the draft. I'm sure they would love to. Problem is, last place doesn't really guarantee you much more of a percentage shot at that damn pick. It's kind of the thing I don't understand, but whatever.
Strong draft, though. It's a strong draft.
Oh, I know it is a strong draft. Yes. All right. Well, let's go on to our fourth topic, and that is the Carolina Hurricanes. We have to talk about Carolina because as of Thursday, Carolina were 4-5-1 in their last 10. They won their last game, so that means that record would have even been a little bit worse than that. Is there a systemic problem of some kind going on here in Carolina? Has it reared its ugly head, or is it just fluctuations in the long and condensed NHL season? The Canes are fighting for top spot after all. So, what do you guys think, Mike? What do you think? Is there some sort of struggles in the dressing room there in Carolina?
No, I don't think so. I mean, every team's going to go through these stretches where things aren't going great, but being around 500 in their last 10, that's whatever. It's going to happen to every team through the course of the season. So,
But it's
um,
Carolina.
yeah, I know it's surprising because there's
They
so
can
many
just add
pieces
better
on the team.
players and be a better team, right? Everybody fits in.
Well, I mean, you can't complain about the backup goaltender. He's playing really well. Maybe he's not the backup anymore. Who knows?
They got two backups.
I think Frederick Anderson might be the odd man out the way he's played this year, and Bussy's played well, and Kochetkov just came back. So, and Slavin's still out of the lineup. So, I mean, he's one of their rocks on defense. So, missing him doesn't help. Yeah, I'm not worried about Carolina, and when it comes time to make a move, if Panarin or Pedersen or somebody becomes available, they're going to be a team that's in the market. So, um, yeah, I'm not concerned with Carolina. They'll still finish near at the top or right behind Washington, maybe in the standings there. So, big
I
game
think
tonight against the Capitals too.
I think Chris gave
Yep.
you the old stink eye. Well, that's why I
Oh,
wanted to
yep.
bring up Carolina here because I knew they were playing Washington tonight.
Yep, they are.
So, Chris, come on, tell me that there's some problem going on in the dressing room. Make my questions seem like they're worth it.
Mike, you remember Bryce Harper got a question from the media a few years ago?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like answering. So,
Go ahead, say it. Say it.
what?
I know what you're saying.
You know where I'm going out with this?
I know where you're going.
Yeah, that's a clown question, bro.
I remember the quote.
Um,
I mean, they played it all over the media after that
yeah,
happened.
they did. They did. Systematic? No. No. A little bit of a lull, sure. Like almost all teams, that there's holes, but Carolina is still top, fourth in the league. They're still chugging along. Three goalies to try to figure out who's going to be who. Bussy's playing well. Anderson's not. I know there's rumblings about that, but I think Anderson had a little bit of bad luck in a couple of those games, but it is what it is. Slavin is skating. Might see him in the next few days. I see we have a back-to-back against Philly this weekend, so Slavin might be popping in there in one of those games, hopefully. I know the power play has been horrendous, bottom of the league, but they put
Yeah,
Jordan Stahl
it's
on the
awful.
power play to stand in the front of the net, and he's got 2 power play goals. So hopefully they found something a little better there, because there's no doubt Carolina's top 6 is light, especially after Shevnikov. When they signed Blake to that extension, we kind of knew that Brady Nadeau had no chance now in the top 6, but they're small. If Carolina enters the playoffs with Stankoven as their second line center, there's going to be problems, right? That's just not going to work long term. Short term, sure, he's doing good, he's doing great, but long term, that's not going to get it done. And that's why, yeah, Elias Pettersson, maybe Ryan O'Reilly. I think they need to go get that second line center if he comes available for sure to solidify that. Slavin coming back takes care of the defense.
Man, there's so many teams that need a second line center.
Everybody needs a second line center, and that's why they're going to go for, gold plus multiple first round picks, and that's the problem. Teams just don't have that, and everyone's looking for it. But yeah, overall, Carolina's fine. Even with all the rookie defensemen playing and the injuries and the lack of size, they're still winning games. And end of the day, that's what counts.
Okay, guys. All right, fine.
You got to
I'll
make a
ask some
prediction
more-
on the game tonight, though, don't you?
Well, yeah, go ahead. I was going to ask if you thought that.
I don't even know I don't know what. I'm assuming Boosie's going to play. He's been good, but he's never been asked to save 30 or 40 shots, right? Some of his games he only had 18, 16 shots. I just don't know what we're going to get from Carolina goaltending. That's been the issue right now, right? We don't need above average goaltending, right? We don't need Thatcher Demko goaltending, but we need average goaltending, and I think that's been holding us back a little bit. And plus, again, the defense with all the rookies, it's a little more chances. But when Slavin comes back, that's going to be a big turnaround, right? A lot less issues back there when he's in the lineup.
Right.
Yeah, and it is Bussy against Thompson tonight in that. So.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to say Washington 3-2 tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
You're jumping off the bus.
Washington's at home. Thompson's been, last 5 games his goals against average is like 1.5. So
yeah, he's
I'll give the edge to Washington just because they're at home, but
him and Chychrun are keeping Washington above water. Like their play is just ridiculous. Well. Yeah,
Chychrun looks like a superstar out there.
Chychrun's always scored a lot of goals. I don't know what happened in Ottawa. I'm not sure what happened because he was scoring there too, and they still moved off him. But he's always been able to score.
I know, but now he looks like a beast out there. Well, let's go on. Let's move on to the hockey profit questions, so I can ask some more clown questions.
Oh yeah,
you guys ready,
bro?
All right. Number 1 is for Chris. Now, Chris, I know I already told you what this question was because I thought it was kind of a strange question after I wrote it down, so I wanted to let you know, but you already had the answer. So Rick DiPietro was named in the top 25 goaltenders who never won a cup. I'm sorry, guys, but when I read that, I just about fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. From something called NHL Trade Talk, that was the name of the article, the guys that put it out. Should DiPietro be in this category, Chris?
Those guys need to start following water polo, bro. Water polo. That is ridiculous. That is horrendous.
He was number 17 on the list out of the top 25.
Yeah, no, a joke.
And we went through the whole list.
Yeah, went through the list. Even like just the top of my head, I would never even throw his name in a top 100. Like I could list 100 goalies, and DiPietro wouldn't be there, right? These guys obviously look at it and say, "Oh, he's a first pick overall. He must have been good for those few years. Must have been great." He was average at best. He had 2 good seasons, 2 below average seasons, and he was out of hocky.
Right.
Yeah,
I believe they signed him.
That's lazy writing and engagement farming 101 for those clowns.
More clowns, more clown world.
More clowns.
Episode, The Clown World. Mike, number 2. Should Bedard be on Team Canada's Olympic squad, and will he be on the squad? 2 points again the other night. He looks like a star. They
I
say he's
mean,
really good in shootouts too.
should he be the way he's producing? Yeah. Canada's always been known to pick their team based off of how they want to construct their lineup. So, two scoring lines. Third line is generally a line that can check well and score a little bit. And the fourth line is pretty much a checking line, a shutdown line that they're going to put out against the top team. So,
Right.
I don't know if there's room for Bedard, to be honest with you, based off of all the players that they had at the World Cup of hockey there that they had. Is that what it was called? The Four Nations, I guess
Four
it was.
Nations, yeah.
I mean, a lot of those guys are probably in line to play. Now, if Bedard could play goalie, maybe he would have a chance, but um, I
I
don't
don't
think
think he's playing goalie, Mike. I don't think so.
I don't think you're going to see too many of those forward spots really different from what we've seen at the Four Nations. I mean, Konechny is going to lose his spot to somebody. Um, I don't know if there's going to be room for Bedard. To be honest, it's pretty. You can't take out McKinnon and McDavid. I mean, if they were to have Bedard on the team, is he a third line center? I think that's probably maybe Shifley. Maybe would get that spot,
Yeah.
but I don't see Bedard making the team just because of the depth that they have. But the next time, yeah, he'll be there next time.
Now, they are allowed to bring an extra forward.
Two extra forwards.
Is it two? I thought
Yep.
it was one. But anyway, so could they just shuffle them in the lineup and bring them anyway?
I think what you're going to see there is for the two forwards that they bring, they're going to bring one in that's probably pretty strong defensively, that maybe can play a little bit physical. And the other one is probably going to be a scoring type forward, so that if they lose something, they have two options of two different play styles.
All right. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's what you think, and we'll go with that. So, Chris, number 3. Can anyone catch Colorado or Dallas for the most points this year in the league? Now, Colorado has 49. Dallas has 47. Washington and Anaheim are 10 points back, respectively. Is anyone going to catch either one of these two teams?
No. Good question, though. Good question, though, bro. No.
No, you
one's
don't think
catching.
that? No. Okay.
No.
All right. Fine. All
Two,
right.
te- two
Mike.
teams. Yeah, I'll put money on those two teams every day of the week, and twice on Sunday.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Mike, can you guess which team has the best NHL power play percentage right now?
I think I heard this the other day, and it was a team that really stood out that has not been good lately. So I don't know right off the top of my head.
Well, that's fine. It's a tough question, but it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's right. That's who it is.
That's weird.
And they're clicking at a 32.4% power play efficiency.
Bunch of power play merchants.
Is this
Well,
mostly Sidney Crosby, Mike?
Yeah.
Crosby and Malkin, but now Malkin's out of the lineup for a few weeks, so I think that's going to take probably a little bit of a dip. I mean, aside from Crosby, Carlson, like those are your two catalysts on the power play there. But yeah, I think losing Malkin's going to hurt them as well. Like he pretty good control presence along the boards with the puck, so I don't foresee it staying that way for much longer. So
I was pretty surprised when I saw that power play percentage at 32.4%. I was like,
yeah.
holy cow, no wonder.
Is
Well,
Eric Carlson
the
cooking this
first
year?
power play is Crosby, Malkin, Rust, Carlson.
Rusty.
I don't know who's the fifth guy they put out there for a forward.
Any one body, probably.
Raquel, because he's hurt. So, but yeah, I don't foresee it staying that way for much longer. I mean, they're going to come back to earth here. So
What was it you
much
asked?
like Chris says, the Capitals are going to come down back to earth there too. So
Yep.
Chris, what was it you asked?
Is Carlson cooking this year?
he's doing okay. He's close to a point a game. I think he's
Is it?
probably. I think he's got about 20-ish points. So
All right, Chris, number 5. Now, Crosby, once again, has 31 points in 28 games. Will he add another year to his record of most seasons with at least a point a game?
He's
He's
definitely
close.
trending that way. Yeah, he's definitely trending that way. But
31 and 28, that's close. So he could have one or two bad games and slip off. I mean,
well, based on this 33% power play, when that starts to slip, can Crosby continue to produce 5-on-5? That'll be the question for him to keep up on that point per game pace.
right. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that stat slips, if that, he can't add another year to it this year. Well, we'll see what happens. And Mike, finally, and I'm sure you guys will be glad when this is all over with because of all these clown questions. The
Burrow.
Flyers are in the 8th spot as of right now for the playoffs. If the playoffs started today, they would be in. Could they possibly win a series against a top team right now, Mike? Is it possible? What percentage chance would you give them?
Think about the Capitals.
Percentage chance to beat, and I would assume that the top team is either going to be Tampa, Washington, or
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah.
So
Carolina, I would
percentages
say.
of winning against those teams in a 7-game series, I'll be generous and say 25. But the Flyers don't score enough goals consistently to beat those teams, and the power plays on those teams are, I mean, aside from Carolina's not being great so far this year, are generally pretty good. And I'll be honest, any team's power play will look pretty good against the Flyers. So, yeah, and I don't, and that's the thing with Philly is their penalty kill. I mean, isn't great. I mean, they're always in the bottom half of the league. At best, they're probably in the middle. So I don't think that they can shut down the power play, and we've seen in the playoffs the power plays. Those are killers in the playoffs, and if a
They
team is,
are absolutely, yeah.
so that's the issue there, and I mean, I'm surprised that the Flyers are doing as well as they are. I'm happy to see them in contention. I'm still not a believer. I still think it's some of these guys that have been producing, it's going to fall off, unfortunately. Hopefully Mitchkov steps up, but Couturier is very inconsistent. He'll go out and get a bunch of points, and then he'll do nothing for a week. Same thing with Tippett, Cates and Brink, and these guys here. They're third line guys. They don't have the depth to beat these teams. I mean, I know Chris is a fan of Brink and Cates and Cam York and Jamie Drysdale, but
he wants them in Carolina for sure.
Oh, they
No. I just want them to produce on the team they're on.
Yeah, well,
that's all I want.
Bagel dropped them all in the hockey pool there this week.
Oh, they've all been dropped.
All gone. All the hope.
Well, now they're going to start producing.
I gave them a chance. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah, I think Brink picked up a point there.
You're 1 week too early, Chris. 1 week too early. Now they're
That's usually how it works in fantasy pools. Yeah, you drop a guy who's doing nothing, and all of a sudden,
early, though. Right? I said he picked them about 8 weeks too early.
Oh, you gotta give guys a chance.
No, you don't.
Yes, you gotta give them a chance.
When there's a Flyers fan in your pool, and they're doing pretty much everything possible to avoid the Flyers, that should be a sign.
I like Forster. I picked Forster last year, and he's looking pretty good this year until he got hurt.
Yeah, like I said before the season, and I'll say it again now, the only Flyers worth having in a pool is Segrist, Konechny, Mitchkov, even though he started slow. I mean, the one I'll put in that category now, aside from last year, is if you really need a goalie, Vladar's been pretty good. So, but other than that, none of those.
He's done really well, Mike. He's done really well.
He has. And now I also looked up a stat because I did this last year. Is Cale Makar has more points than the Flyers' top 3 scoring defensemen combined. So it's a hint. Avoid Flyers.
That sounds like a systematic issue in Philadelphia. I think you should ask that question next week.
No, it's not a systematic issue.
Flyers defense, there's no creativity. It's throw it up the boards, into the corners or throw a wrister at the net, hoping for a tip or the deflection, whatever. That's the Flyer defense. It's been like that since Gostisbehere's been there, but he was too creative, so they had to get rid of him.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
So
Shoot. All right. Well, guys, is there anything else you wanted to add to tonight's discussion? You got any more clown questions that you
Yeah,
want me to ask?
there was some type of poll out there about punchability in the NHL. Did you see that?
I
a
did
pull up
not.
what?
Punchability, guys. You just want to punch. When you see their
No,
face, you just want to punch them.
Oh,
I didn't
Uh,
see that. No. Who was the
Nick,
number one guy?
Nick Cousins was number one.
yeah.
But I think 10th or 9th, I can't remember. It was a little bit down the list, but it was there. Trevor Zegras was there.
Oh, yeah.
What's up with that?
Oh, he's a he's one of those types where he, geez, I don't know how to. Let's try to compare him to somebody.
I can see Konechny. He's doing a lot of talking. Konechny does a lot of talking, but Zegras was
Zegras
on
likes
that
to
list.
give those little shots, and I'm sure he makes some comments too when he's doing it. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the game against Pittsburgh a few weeks back when they had that scrum right at the end of the game. I think he did something to Crosby anyway. Crosby was down and he gave him a shot, and and then he's like standing over top of him, like kind of mocking him or whatnot. So yeah, Trevor Zegras, I can see where he would rub people that way.
Mhm.
Seems a little bit cocky, and that's probably part of it. So yeah, I can definitely see him in that list.
Also, when I
Where was
was
Brad
going
Marchand
over,
on that list? He must have still been
He was
in
up
there.
second or third, maybe third
Oh
on that
yeah,
list.
because I
I think
figured he'd have
so.
dropped back a
I
little bit
thought he'd be
there.
number one, but they
Yeah.
said Cousins. But yeah, Cousins is he's a pain in the butt. But
Did you guys see the game there a week ago against Columbus when they called the timeout late in the game and he skates over to listen
skated
in?
over there. Yeah,
I only saw it in the highlights, but yeah,
yeah.
typical, right? Typical.
That's
What I
the
found somewhat interesting about question number 4 when I was talking about the power play percentage was that the Oilers, they were the third best power play percentage, which, I mean, I'm sure doesn't shock anyone. The Canadians were fourth best, which shocked the hell out of me. And Ottawa was fifth best. But only the Oilers are barely in the playoffs right now. Like, the power play is not helping these teams. Holy shit, what happens if their power play falls off any? These teams are in trouble, I would say, wouldn't you?
Edmonton's power play won't fall off, but yeah.
No, not
And
Edmonton, but
Montreal, Ottawa.
Ottawa and Montreal. I mean,
Hudson does very well there, right? And Caulfield, give him that ice. They got the talent for it.
thing with Montreal is they've got a lot of guys that are willing to shoot the puck on the power play. It's not all about just control. Like, they've got a lot of guys that'll shoot, which differs from a lot of teams.
Philly.
A lot of teams like to play the control and then wait for the really good chance. Whereas
Cross
Montreal,
ice.
they got Caulfield and Demidov and Slavkovsky and Hudson. They're all shooting. So, the old saying goes, you're not going to score if you don't shoot. So, and they're
Yeah,
kind of
is that why Gallagher only has 1 goal this year because all the other players are shooting?
Ahead of him.
Gallagher. I don't think plays that much compared to some of these other guys. Nor does he.
No, but
probably
he
play with some mates.
still had 22 goals last year, and he's got 1 so far this year. Not
I
quite
think
keeping
next
up.
week, though, we should talk about Slavkovsky, right?
Slavkovsky, yeah.
Because he plays on the top line. He's playing with the top 2 players. And how many goals does he have? 6, 7?
It's under 10.
Yeah, around
He was
that.
hyped up to be this big power forward, 40 goal scorer. It really hasn't clicked, and he's getting prime ice time with prime players. So I'm starting to wonder if he's, I wouldn't say a bust player,
A
but
dud?
not as good as the hype was. But we knew in that draft it was a weaker draft, right? So expectations should always be kind of pulled back
Right.
in a situation like that. But yeah, he's not.
Well,
He's
I'll
not the
do
superstar they were expecting him to be.
I'll do a little bit of studying on Slavkovsky, and we'll talk about him next week. So, all right,
Yeah.
guys. Good episode. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next week. And I'll try not to ask too many more clown questions. We'll see you all later.
Later.
Later.